Hey, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the John Deere Gator 825i. I haven't seen a good comprehensive review of this machine, and I wanted to give you guys some do's and don'ts and some thoughts and ideas on this John Deere Gator 825i. Something that might save you money. It might be food for thought if you're in the market for a UTV. Farm UTV, not a trail woo UTV. This is pretty much a hybrid UTV, but for the farm is what we use it for, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. The things that I do like, the things that I don't like, and my recommendations for you when you do purchase it. So let's first talk about the Gator and its mechanical abilities. This thing has something in the neighborhood of 50 horsepower. It's a 3-cylinder engine. I was told the engine is from India. I don't know a whole lot about it. All I know is I wanted to go into the John Deere dealership and get a reliable piece of equipment that I could use on my farm. So this piece of equipment is strong, built very sturdy. Tromping through the woods, building trails and stuff on the farm has really not posed a problem. Pulling is the main problem. So the recommendation is that 1,500 pounds towing capacity. I'm finding that 1,500 pounds downhill towing capacity might be correct. Towing 1,500 pounds up a hill with this thing, you're working it, you're burning your belts up. So I went through a clutch and a belt in 120 hours, just under the warranty time of 1 year, which is a very short warranty for a piece of equipment that you pay $13,000 to $14,000, almost $17,000, $18,000 for. I think we paid around $14,000 for this thing. Let's talk about power. Power-wise, this machine has plenty of power, plenty of moving ability. It'll top out at like 43 miles an hour on the road, does great. It's easy to click in and out of four-wheel drive. I think it's overpowered for the drivetrain. So I've been through a rear axle already. That was under warranty, and here we are 320 hours, and a CV joint right here has gone bad. So I had to order a new CV joint, and I'm going to put it on myself. Also gone through a belt and a clutch. The machine is very powerful. I think maybe it's too powerful for the drivetrain. So maybe something you want to consider, or maybe John Deere stepped it up. Maybe something you want to consider is getting the smaller engine in this thing. Your weight capacity is 1,500 pounds, and I believe that may be the same for the smaller engine. That's more of a frame capacity thing. So there is a model with a smaller engine. I think it's a 6 something. You may look at that. It's got just as much speed, almost as much power, and I don't think you'll be breaking stuff as much as I am. The first week I had this, we pulled logs out of the woods. Logs about like this, maybe about like this, maybe 15 feet long. Nothing that a small truck couldn't handle, or what I thought this would handle. Nothing near 1,500 pounds. But I think that's what chewed our belts up and our clutch up in the first place. Let's talk about the lights on this thing. So these factory lights are weak, very weak. You could barely see 20 feet in front of you. If it's pitch black, they'll get you through the woods or they'll get you home, but they're very weak. So we put a light bar on the front here. You could order the light kit for John Deere. They fit right here, here. There's several different places for lights. But the inherent expense, I spent, I think, $110 for this light bar. It's a Blazer light bar. And wired it up, put switches in, called it good, and it'll light the woods up. I also put lights up top and work lights in the back, and I'll show you those. So now that we're back here at the back of the machine, you can see the two work lights, one here and one here. I put two work lights on this machine just because I didn't have any rear lights, and if you're working after dark, which mainly in the winter time you'll be outside working after dark, you're going to need some work lights. You can't always pull up to something. If you're unloading feed, you're feeding cows, goats, whatever you got to do, you need a rear work light. Or if you kill a deer, you want to gut them, it's dark, looking for a blood trail, whatever need you may have. If you are skinning a deer, you can back this thing up. You can do it in the woods. Back it up, pull the deer up in the tree, skin them out. Good to go. We're talking about a farm utility vehicle, okay? We're not talking about a golf cart. I don't want a golf cart, and if you're looking at this video, I don't think you want a golf cart. I'm not too sure that this John Deere Gator isn't a very expensive golf cart. Let's talk about the cockpit on this Gator. I've got room, plenty of room here. I put the windshield on in the winter and the roof on in the winter. I also have some auxiliary lights here for the summertime so I can light up a field. The lights are very low set in this thing. So if you're in tall grass in the summertime, you're not able to really see too far in a field at night. And I'd also like to be able to see more than 12 feet in front of me in case there's a implement sitting out in the field I forgot about, or a piece of metal or something that I could run up on. We bought an old farm and there are pieces of metal and barrels and stuff all over the place. We've tried to clean up as many as we could, but I'd like to be able to see. So once again, you need to buy the basic light package for this thing and upgrade your lights inexpensively by going on Amazon or some other online resource and purchasing lights and switches, and that way you can get adequate lighting for this thing. So I thought to myself, Stoney Ridge farmer Josh, what do you think people want out of a utility vehicle? Great utility. I have the dump bed on this machine. The dump bed, I think, was an upgrade of about $600 to $800. Is it worth it? It's kind of questionable. The regular bed, the dump bed's handy to have, especially if you're dumping and you're moving. You don't want to get off and dump it. If you're just going to be loading it up with manure or straw or something like that, then you really don't need a power dump bed. What you do need is power steering. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, do not buy this machine without power steering. This steering wheel will jerk your hands around and jerk them around if you're riding on rough terrain or climbing over roots and little stumps and stuff where we built trails in the woods. And I got the steering wheel, pow, gouged me right in my arm, my hand, almost dislocated my thumb just because I didn't have power steering. You need power steering on this machine. It is too big to even think about not having power steering. My wife can't even turn the steering wheel when it's sitting still. We almost have to overinflate the tires in order to make the steering more capable on this machine and not jerk our arms off. So here's our cockpit. We'll turn the key on. So we light up here with our gauges. I guess you can get upgraded gauges that'll tell you the temperature and everything. See this clock? It says 10:29. See this watch? It says 9:16. This clock is inherently wrong. It is always wrong. It is, we could set it and 3 days later it loses or gains 2 or 3 minutes. That makes me question as to whether the hour meter on the machine, 344.2 hours, if the clock can't keep good time, is the hour meter on the machine bad also? So sorry for this reflection, but that's the question I have. When you start the Gator, you turn the key on, you hear the pump kick in, wait till it stops, and then go to start it. Fires right up, no problems, okay? If you turn it off and you don't wait, you just turn it on like a car, it sputters and carries on. I don't understand why it would be designed to sputter like that. Also, if you buy the rooftop and the cab, get ready to wear earplugs, or you can go buy a Gator Silencer online. I purchased a muffler silencer, and I'll show you that in just a second. It very much quiets the machine down. The decibel level inside the cab with the windshield on is almost intolerable. So this is what I purchased online to silence the Gator. You basically take loose your spark arrestor and slide this little muffler kit on. Got to drill a couple holes. You can see the dent in it from the dump bed dumping back on it. It hasn't really affected anything, but you can't run your dump bed with this bumper all the way back like you'd like. I don't even think it's the bumper. I think it's hitting right up here. So the tires on this thing are very meaty, a little more beefy than you need. If you get into sand and you get stuck, 2 turns of that tire and you're on the axles, you're on the ground. Check out the CV joint right here. Why is there an indentation in the CV joint, CV boot? I don't understand. I'm having CV problems with this machine. Constant problems with the CV joints. This is the area of the axle that I had to replace, and you can see this is the 4-wheel drive engagement. What a bend this thing has in it. I had to replace this whole shaft piece. Move the mud flap. It was leaking oil from there. So I have it very greased up right now, so hopefully I won't have any more problems with it. Also, changing the oil in this machine is very difficult. The oil plug is right there, and there's a video on changing the oil in here, and see your oil filter right there? Nearly impossible to get to unless you have tiny little baby hands. So as far as toughness of the body, I would say it's extremely tough. I'd recommend getting these protective bars around the front, but we didn't get them on the back, and you really didn't need them on the back. We have the protective bar across this front, protective bar across that fender, which is very good. Gas tank's good, but look at that. Why would the gas tank flop around in this machine? It doesn't need to flop around. Another part that I've heard other people complain about is where this air inlet valve goes in. It just pops loose. So I put a zip tie on there and it still pops loose. And this is, I think, some sort of cooling part of the machine. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm having to put this back all the time. So let's go over the pluses and the minuses on this Gator. It looks great. Engine runs great. A little bit difficult to change the oil. Tires are a little more meaty than you really need, but I was worried they'd tear up the yard. They don't tear up the yard. They do pretty good. Fit and finish wise, I got a little loose gas tank. This thing keeps popping off. I've been through an axle, and I'm getting ready to put a new front CV axle on here. It's just clicking and broken. Towing capacity is 1,500 pounds. I don't really think so. You put this thing to work and it does well, but 1,500 pounds has put some stress on the belts and clutches. So when you do buy one, if you do, take it easy on it, especially for the first few hours, okay? My dealer told me that this thing was virtually indestructible, and that just ride it and have fun and enjoy it and use it on the farm. Don't worry about it, because it can take it. I've found that it can't take what I want it to do. I didn't want an oversized golf cart. I didn't want a $13,000 golf cart. So this is a step up from a golf cart. But let me tell you, if you want a serious working machine, I would check other areas. Pieces of advice I'd give to a John Deere Gator purchaser. After owning this vehicle for 1 year, I think I would get the, I think it's a 628 or 625 version, not the 825. I think this engine is overpowered for the frame. I think that smaller one is the same frame and same load capacity, but just a different towing capacity. It's plenty fast, and I think once you get a grasp of the machine, you really don't want to go any faster. I mainly cruise around at about 4 miles an hour on the farm, checking on things. So, other pieces of advice, you're going to need some better lights. So we've got this light. These factory lights here are very weak. You may be able to upgrade the bulbs, but they're pretty weak. I again put the light bar on it. That lights it up very nicely. It's inexpensive. So, and walk around, I'm satisfied with my Gator. I'm not satisfied with my Gator's warranty, and I've done everything I possibly can to take care of this machine, and I'm still breaking things. I expected a utility vehicle to use on the farm, and you know, the reality behind that is it's just not strong enough for me. So next time we get a utility vehicle, it most likely will be a diesel model Kubota. So once again, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. I wanted to give you a good, comprehensive, non-biased review of this John Deere Gator 825i. This is after 1 year of ownership and 344.2 hours is what it says on the hour meter. If you saw earlier in the video, I really don't know. I really don't trust that hour meter. But it's an enjoyable machine to have. Is it a true farm workhorse? Yes, if you're hauling hay bales around, if you're hauling a little bit of dirt, but if you're pulling little trailers and things that you would think you could pull with this machine, it's really let me down. Burnt through clutches, belts, CV joints, axles, 340 hours. Hands down, this machine is not holding up to use on the farm like I thought it would. So, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to us. I appreciate you. Take care. Have a great day. Woo!